honestly, I don't know how I'm going to answer on the test. I mean, it's going to be the same concept. But I don't know if I'm going to be A plus B is equal to C, or A plus minus C is equal to B. If you understand all the concepts, then it really shouldn't matter. I still want to give you some practice, different ways to ask. If I asked you, where would the muscles be working the same as the weight? When would the internal forces at the shoulders be working the same as the external forces? What phases would we see that at? Yeah, any constant velocity. Now, 0 is a constant. So even if I said she's just holding it in that position, right? Well, maybe not my shoulders, because my shoulders, you know, there's really no motion, but at least maybe my scapula, my back. But once she gets it moving, if she keeps it going at the same speed, they have to tie. And again, another way to look at it is that the concept of a tie, if the muscle started pulling more than the weight, she would begin to speed up again. She'd gain speed. If the muscles all of a sudden started pulling less than the weight, it would start to slow down. Does that make sense? In imbalance, something's happening to the speed outside of staying the same. If you want to keep your car going at the same speed, you keep your foot at the same pressure on the gas pedal, or you put it on cruise control. But if you press more, you go faster. And if you press less, you slow down. The only way to keep it going at the same speed is to time. Okay? What about if I ask the question this way? Slowing down shoulder extension. Give that some thought. If I gave you a phase, I gave you a specific phase, slowing down the shoulder extension, would your muscles be working the same as the weight, more than the weight, or less than the weight? Don't answer it out loud, because different people take time to get to their conclusion. But if I asked it that way, I gave you a specific phase in this exercise, and then asked you to tell me, are your muscles, is it easier for your muscles, harder for your muscles, or the same for your muscles?
So he's talking about right here, close to the shoulder extension.
Well, no, I think it's you don't stop. So that way gravity doesn't take you.
I thought he was saying the extension. I mean,
All right, the answer is easier or less. Yeah. In other words, if you get the weight moving, you can turn off all your muscles and that extension is going to slow down, right? You don't need your muscles to do it. Now, your muscles are still doing a job. They are controlling the rate at which the weight slows you down, but the whole point is that your muscles let the weight be greater. Your muscles let the weight slow you down. My extensors can't push me to a stop. And the only thing that could pull me to a stop are my flexors. And since that weight is trying to flex me, if I actually use my flexor, you jerk it like a punch. Okay? Roman punch. Slowing down speeding up the extension. Speeding up the flexion. Let's keep it in the same area. Speeding up the flexion in this exercise. Now, what I want to make sure you understand is do not put in your notes, when I hear speed up flexion, it must be like that's just the circumstance of this exercise. We cannot definitively say. I mean, I can switch it around and do shoulder press where it's the exact opposite. You can't say, if I see this, it's gonna be that. You have to analyze it exercise by exercise, joint by joint muscle. Okay? So I want to make sure we don't do that. Speeding up the flexion in the shoulder. This is all shoulder. We're going to infer every question I'm giving you is shoulder. Okay? Speeding up the flexion. How do I know it speeds up? Because it went from extension to flexion. I gotta slow one down and allow the other one to speed up. Greater than, now this is from the muscle's perspective, greater than, less than, or equal to the weight. Less than. Less than. Yeah. Again, I can turn off all my muscles and flexion can happen. I can't turn off all my muscles and extension happen. My muscles, think of it like this. If my muscles kept the time, I would never move. If I got it here and then tied it, if I started to be greater, I'd go back even further. I'm gonna let off and choose to be less, to let the weight speed up my flexion. Okay? Constant flexion is gonna be a tie. And then slowing down that flexion, I'm going to have to work more. I have to work more. Something's going to work more. All right, let's do... Oh, wow, they got it. So many choices. Good Lord.
Oh, those are fails. Yeah, those are
We're
good.
going to see some fails.
Yeah, those are great. Especially that guy. That dude bends the ball.
Oh, is this going to be a fail? Uh-oh. Oh.
It's not like.
Oh. Oh, no. You want to see the rest of it?
Yeah.
All right, listen. If you can't handle people getting hurt, please watch, because I want to watch your reaction. Oh, God. Oh, psych. Oh. Is that even real? Oh. Yeah, dude, give him a little guy out of there. All right. Why do you think his life got really difficult at the bottom? What's that? You got to slow it down. Yeah. And you have to slow it down because your muscles that are working have to be greater, less, or the same? Greater. So when it comes time to slowing down the knee flexion and slowing down the hip flexion, you're actually squatting more than the weight. That's what I'm trying to get to. Does everybody understand that? I could lower 2,000 pounds on the squat. I ain't getting up. But I can go down. The hard part is stopping it from going down and making it go up. That's when you're squatting more than what's on that bar and on those plates. I think that's the important thing I'm trying to teach you, is that whatever ridiculous amount of weight that is, there's periods of time where you're doing more than that. So, where would my...
Oh, that's a moment this way.
Don't video yourself, you guy. Oh no. Oh no.
Mama!
Oh no. Oh no.
Mama!
Oh, poor guy. Maybe he had an accident.
He's watching his own thing.
No, he's smiling. It's all good. So again, y'all notice a pattern when things are going bad? It's at the bottom, right?
That dude's like 10 years old trying to do 220.
Hey, do y'all think this is going to end well?
Don't think that's going to stop.
Yeah.
about to break his ankle.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, that's not that bad.
Hey, the safety bars.
Well, yes. Oh, good Lord.
Ah. I like going to
Dude, that bar could have like slapped that dude in the face. If he was any further up in his business. Look at that. If that guy was like taller,
See, that's what CrossFit does to you right there.
murder.
That's what I'm talking about.
Smith machine. Oh. Ah.
That one. Come on, man. I gotta go squat to the Oh.
Oh. That's all you can do, man.
Ah, open. China number one. China number one.
Come on, buddy. Come on, oh. Dude, that's just, so much weight.
You should do the leg press, leg break. God damn.
I bet she's not happy. Not happy. I like that dude just started cleaning up. He's like, let me just move this one to the side. let me just move that. Oh. At least he's got some legs.